She does not laugh. She does not cry. She simply watches. Half a smile. Eyes that seem to know too much. She has been gazing at us for over 500 years. And still, we're not sure if she is smiling, smirking, or silently mocking the world. This is not just a portrait. This is a puzzle, an echo from the Renaissance, a whisper of genius. This is Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. And today, we attempt what even the greatest minds have failed to do: decoding the most famous face in art. To understand Mona Lisa, we must first understand Leonardo da Vinci. He was not just an artist. He was an architect of thought, a sculptor of science, an engineer of dreams. Leonardo was a man obsessed, not with fame or money, but with understanding the very mechanics of life. He dissected cadavers by candlelight to uncover how the body worked. He sketched flying machines centuries before flight was possible. He filled notebooks with mirror writing and mysterious diagrams that seemed more like spells than science. And in his art, he aimed for the impossible, not just to represent, but to reveal. Not just to show us a face, but to make us feel its presence. Leonardo once wrote, "Learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else." The Mona Lisa, then, was never meant to be just a portrait. It was meant to be a mirror of humanity, of knowledge, of nature's geometry. He worked on it for over 4 years and continued tweaking it for a decade more. Until his death, the painting never left his possession, because in many ways, it was never finished. It was evolving. It was alive. Centuries have passed, yet the question remains: who is she? For some, she is Lisa Gherardini, the wife of a wealthy Florentine silk merchant named Francesco del Giocondo. Giorgio Vasari, the Renaissance biographer, gives us this version. And it is from her married name that we derive La Gioconda. But this neat explanation unravels under scrutiny. Why did Leonardo never deliver the painting to Francesco? Why did he keep it with him, carrying it even into exile in France? Why did he treat this painting unlike any other? Some suggest she is Leonardo's mother, Caterina, a tribute wrapped in secrecy. Others believe she's a lover or even a philosophical idea made flesh. Then there's the theory, playful, provocative, and oddly convincing, that the Mona Lisa is Leonardo himself, a veiled self-portrait. When her features are digitally compared to a drawing believed to be of Leonardo, the similarities are striking. So who is she? Perhaps she's all of them. Perhaps she's none. Perhaps she was never meant to be someone. She was meant to be something. It is the most famous smile in history, and the most debated. It is there, and then it is not. When you look directly at her lips, the smile fades. Look away, and it reappears. This is not coincidence. This is sfumato, Leonardo's signature technique, derived from the Italian word for smoke. He painted not with lines, but with layers, hundreds of them, so thin they're almost invisible. He built shadows like fog. He blended colors like breath. And in doing so, he made her smile float between realms. Psychologists suggest this illusion activates different parts of our brain. The corners of her mouth, seen in our peripheral vision, hint at joy. But when we focus directly, those cues vanish, leaving ambiguity. Her smile lives in the edge of perception. And that's the genius. Because truth, like a smile, is often clearest when we're not trying to grasp it. She doesn't just look at you. She sees you. Stand to the left of her. She's watching. Walk to the right. Still watching. This isn't a trick of the mind. It's a trick of the brush. Leonardo painted her gaze with a near-perfect symmetry and depth, creating an illusion where the eyes follow the viewer no matter where they stand. It's now called the Mona Lisa effect. But it's more than optics. There's something in that look. Gentle, questioning, knowing. It's not just that she sees us. It's that we feel she understands us. And in that moment, we're not just looking at art. We're in a conversation with it. Look behind her. Mountains, rivers, winding paths, a bridge, roads that vanish into mist. This is not Tuscany. It is not real. It is imagined, dreamlike, impossible. The horizon doesn't line up. On her left side, the land is low. On her right, it is high. This deliberate disorientation suggests duality. Two worlds, two states of mind. Some believe the landscape is a metaphor for the human psyche. One side grounded, the other elevated. A union of earth and spirit, conscious and subconscious. Others think it symbolizes time, the bridge of the past, the road to the future. But what's certain is this: she is not placed in the landscape. She is of it. And that tells us something about how Leonardo saw humanity, not separate from nature, but an extension of it. Leonardo didn't just paint the Mona Lisa. He engineered her. He prepared the wood panel meticulously, applied underpaintings and glazes over years, each layer building upon the last, like sediment. He mixed his own pigments using minerals like lapis lazuli and malachite. He used walnut oil to slow drying times, giving him control over blending. He painted over veins of wood, cracks, imperfections, letting the flaws become part of the form. X-rays revealed changes. Hands repositioned, veil adjusted, shadows deepened. She was always becoming. It wasn't about perfection. It was about presence. In a time of rigid religious dogma and strict patronage, Leonardo created something truly revolutionary. A portrait not of status or power, but of soul. And soul takes time. Let's talk symbols. She wears no jewelry, no wedding ring, nothing to mark her identity or class. In an era where women's portraits proclaimed lineage and dowry, this is extraordinary. Her clothing is dark and modest, yet her expression is elevated. She seems dignified, not by wealth, but by wisdom. Her hands, folded gently, command attention. Leonardo once said the hands reveal more than the face. Her posture forms a triangle, a symbol of stability, a nod to the divine proportion. And that smile, half joy, half silence, becomes the final symbol of grace, of duality, of something just out of reach. The Mona Lisa has become a canvas for conspiracy. Letters in her eyes, numbers on the arches. Some say her eyes contain the initials L and S, Leonardo and Lisa. Others claim to find musical notes hidden in the folds of her veil. Researchers have measured the painting and found Fibonacci sequences, golden ratios, and divine proportions embedded in her face and hands. Some say she's pregnant. Others say she's androgynous. Dan Brown didn't help things. But maybe the mystery is the message. Maybe Leonardo encoded possibilities, not to deceive us, but to engage us. Because the deeper we look, the more we see. And the more we see, the more we question. And that questioning, that curiosity, is exactly what Leonardo lived for. We know he completed commissions, portraits of dukes, lords, nobles. Yet he never delivered this one. When he moved to France at the invitation of King Francis I, he brought her with him. When he died, she was still in his studio. Why? Because she wasn't just another painting. She was a lifetime of thought, a culmination of philosophy, observation, emotion, a distillation of the human condition in oil and pigment. She was not his masterpiece. She was his mirror. And some mirrors you never part with. For over 3 centuries, she lived quietly in the Louvre, admired but not adored. That changed in 1911 when she vanished, stolen by Vincenzo Peruggia, an Italian handyman who believed the Mona Lisa should return to Italy. The world went into shock. Newspapers splashed her face across front pages. Pablo Picasso was even interrogated. For 2 years, she was gone. When she was finally recovered, she returned not as a painting, but as a legend. And from that point on, the Mona Lisa wasn't just art. She was icon. Today she is everywhere, printed on coffee mugs, immortalized in memes, parodied by Duchamp, distorted by Warhol, glitched by AI. But somehow, she remains untouched. Each generation projects its questions onto her, and she responds with the same enigmatic calm. She absorbs our curiosity, our awe, our cynicism, and she reflects it all back. She doesn't need to change, because we do. Leonardo da Vinci left no explanation for the Mona Lisa. No letter, no diary entry, no title, only her. Half a smile, eyes full of riddles. And perhaps that was the secret. Not to explain, but to wonder. Not to reveal, but to feel. Because some truths can't be taught. They can only be experienced. And as long as we keep returning to her, not for answers, but for presence, then Leonardo's secret lives on. In a glance, a silence, a smile, forever.